Here we go again. Here we go again. The witch hunt continues. They just indicted former President Trump one more time. I am starting to really believe that this is a witch hunt. I always felt that this was certainly not bipartisan and certainly partisan. But I certainly felt that there was a political agenda to keep President Trump out of the White House again. Now, I am not partial one way or the other. I'm a registered independent. I still don't know who I'm voting for. But as of 8/27/2024, August 27th, 2024, they just indicted President Trump again. And the indictment is on his 2020 election case, where they ruled initially that he had immunity to. So I'm going to play this video, and then we're going to talk about it, man. Then we are going to talk about it. This is an explanation of the new charges against President Trump. And go.
How is this indictment different from the initial indictment, and is essentially Jack Smith doing the judge's work for her?
Well, he's hoping that he's doing the judge's work for her, in the sense that this actually is not hugely different from the indictment that he first brought forward before the immunity decision, before the decision in that other case dealing with what the obstruction statute really meant. And so for me, the big takeaway here is Jack Smith saying, I see your immunity decision. I see your decision narrowing the scope of the obstruction statute, and I'm coming forward with something that looks substantially similar. All of the charges are still there. All 4 charges remain. Some of the allegations dropped, those that I think much more clearly, according to the Supreme Court's roadmap, fell within those core presidential functions where a majority of the court said, no, there's immunity. But what Jack Smith is certainly hoping for is that Judge Chutkan looks and says, this is about right to me. I think you're going forward with just those allegations that you can bring. He doesn't want her to do a lot of work here and say yes to these, no to these.
Now, Jessica, as we discussed before.
All right, so basically what she is saying is that the special prosecutor, Jack Smith, has reworked the indictment in such a way that the immunity charge will become the immunity that Donald Trump has been given is not going to apply in this specific charge against him. And I promise you, I am sick and I am tired. I am tired. I do understand how people will absolutely come out and vote for former President Trump, simply because they see that this is a witch hunt. This is a witch hunt. Who in their right mind honestly believes that this is being done on merit alone, meaning that it's being done simply because he allegedly broke these laws? The federal government can probably indict a bologna sandwich if they wanted to. So they can find something in any single president, vice president, political figure. They can find something wrong with every single political figure. And this time, because former President Trump is running again, he is the object of their affection, if you will. I am absolutely sick and I am absolutely tired of these political games. And I call them political games simply because I'm still pissed off about the financial collapse in '08 and how nobody has been brought up on charges. I mean, that was 16 years ago. And these people damn near destroyed the entire economy. So, and I lived through that and I got laid off through that. So, that right there let me know that there are political interests at play when it comes to who you prosecute and who you don't prosecute. Why don't you think they prosecuted anybody during the financial crisis? They didn't, because these are the world's top 1% of the 1%. They run the financial system. And if they're all in jail, then who's going to run the financial system? It essentially would collapse. But I don't really give a damn, because these were criminals. These were criminals, and I'm still pissed off about it 16 years later. And I don't think I'll ever let that go. And now you see President Trump, former President Trump, being lambasted simply because he wants to run for office again. And he might just win. He's got an amazing support base. He's got people in the middle, like me, that are going to listen to the policies, hear me, that we're going to listen to the policies of each candidate and decide which candidate is moving in the right, let me say that differently, which candidate is moving, generally speaking, in the direction that I am going. I've heard politics say that, people say that politics is like a public transportation. You get on the bus that's going in the general direction that you are. And so I'm square in the middle at this point. I have not been able to throw my support behind either one. I live in Southern California, so my vote really doesn't matter, as California is a super, 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 super blue state. And no matter what I vote, though I am going to vote, we know that the votes from the Electoral College in this state are going directly to Vice President Kamala Harris, respectfully. And so my thought is that I need my issues addressed, right? So let's talk about a couple of issues. So you got on the right, you have anti-abortion as a wedge issue. Wedge issue means that it's driving a wedge through a person's ability to vote for or against that person based upon that issue. So you got abortion rights, wedge issue right there. So I personally don't care if women have the right to have an abortion or not, right? Do you do your thing? But for me and my house, we're not doing that. So hypothetically, I have a granddaughter. If when she becomes of age and she found herself in a situation where an abortion was the way out, we're not doing that as a family. We're just not doing that unless it's due to rape or these other extreme issues that would put her life in jeopardy. We're not doing that, right? But do you, for you and your family. So personally, I don't care. I do not care. So that's thrown out as a wedge issue. Here's another one. A wedge issue, which is on the left. That is, let's say, LGBTQIA rights. So this is a wedge issue for me. This is absolutely a wedge issue, and it is absolutely personal. My sister went to heaven. She was part of that community. She went to heaven. I saw all of the damage mentally, emotionally, and spiritually that she was going through as she was trying to find her way back to a more traditional, potentially traditional way of participating in relationships. She wanted a child. At one point in time, she liked men. And so that her For her, it was a choice because of the hurt and pain that men had imposed upon her or inflicted upon her. And so now, the logic behind this whole transgender thing, right? I don't really care if you want to change your gender identity or not. It's America. Feel free. Do what you're going to do. But the fact that my granddaughter probably, if the left gets in for another 4 to 8 years, when she's able to change clothes in a locker room, she will potentially have to change clothes with a biological male who decides that they woke up one day and they are a biological, or that they are female now. And I ain't going for that. I am not going for that. And for me, it's the idea that this is even makes sense. Like, make it make sense that this is even an argument to be made. That it's an even an argument to be made. Okay, I could get you having trans neutral restrooms, which is fine, but just the idea that you would rather give attention or rights to somebody because you don't want to hurt their feelings and put at risk a majority of the people in that restroom, disregarding their feelings, disregarding their emotions, makes absolutely no sense to me. And I can't go for it. That is a wedge issue to me. So, that being said, how do they attempt to get people from the right to the left or from the middle to the left? And that's by you appealing to the sense of the voters on the right, the sense of the voters in the middle, and you get them to believe that Trump is a criminal. They filed so many, he's been found guilty on so many felony charges. And honestly, like I said, I'm not for or against at this point, but I am against political hitmen. I am absolutely against that. I am absolutely against that. And in my mind, if President Trump, former President Trump, had not been or was not going to run for president again, he would not be in this legal situation that he is. And so I'm sick. I'm tired. Like I said, the more that they come at him, more people are realizing that this is a political hit job, and we know that it is totally partisan. Totally partisan. So anyway, these are my thoughts. These are my thoughts. These are my thoughts. I'm so sick about it, but thank you for paying attention to my thoughts today. Like, share, subscribe. Russell's Reactions. I will talk to you soon.